I think what I worry about in my personal life is the Internet of Things and how many things we're building technology and Wi-Fi capability into. And I don't think that we have a full appreciation yet for the risks that we are introducing.
Who would have thought, I think it was last year, there was the story in Las Vegas about the casino that got hit because the aquarium had the temperature control and it was connected to the internet. Yeah. And who would have thought at one time I need to worry about a fish tank because a cyber threat's going to come through there possibly. So I think just that awareness of how connected we've become in places that people never expected to be, and trying to understand that, that's a really big challenge in that area at the moment.
IoT devices, if you look at them from the basic sense of just simple sensors, they're designed primarily, with the function at hand to conserve computing power, limit the amount of resources to prevent battery drain. And so a lot of them weren't really designed with security in mind.
If you were to ask somebody in a biomed area or a clinical area what a medical device is, they would describe it probably as some type of therapeutic or diagnostic machine that provides clinical care. If you ask me that question, I'm going to tell you it's a computer with an operating system that is susceptible to all the same threats that any type of computing device is. And that poses a lot of challenges now that we're connecting all those devices to systems and data.
Over the last 15 years, there's been such an accelerated set of innovations that are taking place in the healthcare space. Every month, there's one more vendor that's coming out with a device that used to be a quote-unquote not smart device, but now it's a smart device because it's connected to an information store. It may have the ability to call back home to its cloud command and control center. And so while all of those are positive functionality, it turns out that also increases the attack surface.
Things in my world are really typically OT devices, so operational technology devices that help us either design or manufacture our products or introduce advanced manufacturing techniques like additive printing or 3D printing. But it also opens new risks because that is a completely digital process. That file that contains dimensions, properties, materials, things that were, the secret sauce in different systems are now in one file. So, that's a critical piece of IP, intellectual property that we need to protect.
I look back at just a lot of the stuff we're evolving into from manufacturing shop floor. A lot of those devices, big turbines, were never meant to be connected. For manufacturing, it's really IoT. So industrial Internet of Things is kind of what I look at. So the ICS systems or SCADA systems that connect the machines and devices together, that's a big deal because they're the ones that really manipulate and run the turbines. So we have to look at how do we protect them and evolve that connectivity and that supply chain piece as well.
The big thing with Internet of Things devices is there's no good patching mechanism for those things, right? So that you buy them, you put them on your network, or somebody puts them on your network, you don't know about it. I think a lot of companies already have a problem with asset management in general. It's one of the biggest issues, especially in large organizations, is knowing what assets are on your network in order to manage them and effectively patch them and those kinds of things.
It's just a catch-up game for the practitioners. We're constantly scanning them. We know what that IP address is. We know that that's an IoT attached to it. But then what? It's a black box, right? How are we going to make it more secure? I do think that if IoT manufacturers, the people who are creating these devices, if they can just bake this in, there's guidelines. The National Cybersecurity Center has guidelines for IoTs. If they just start to bake these principles in, then we won't be so worried about, our toaster is going to be vulnerable.
That's right.
Right? We'll start to see some changes, in the field of IoT.